An Idaho lawmaker from Lewiston is facing some serious allegations as a 19-year-old testified against him today.
WSU has announced that vaccines will be required for fall semester, but there's a big loophole. That's coming up on Murrow News 8.
Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Pamela Alarcon.
And I'm Luke Walker. Welcome to Murrow News 8. WSU announced today the university will require students to provide proof that they received the COVID-19 vaccine to participate in on-campus activities. However, there are some exceptions that can be made, which include medical, religious, and personal reasons. WSU Vice President of Marketing and Communications, Phil Weiler, explained to Murrow News 8 how the exemptions work and affect being in person.
If a student either is fully vaccinated or has received an exemption, they will be allowed to participate in on-campus activities, whether that's living in a residence hall or attending classes in person or attending student activities. But you need to have one or the other. So again, we want to not get into arguments with individuals. If they really refuse to be vaccinated, that's fine. They just need to go through the process of getting that personal exemption.
Beginning Monday, November 1st, 2021, students not living in university housing or with program-specific requirements will be required to have documented proof of vaccines or an approved exemption. Students who fail to meet this requirement will be prevented from registering for spring semester courses and/or face other restrictions. An Idaho lawmaker is facing sexual assault allegations from a 19-year-old intern. He was previously warned against hitting on women who work at the State House after his colleagues heard complaints from other staffers. An investigation into Lewiston Republican Aaron Von Ellinger's conduct in March when a 19-year-old legislative... Oh, that's the VO.
Legislative intern told his supervisors that the 38-year-old lawmaker sexually assaulted her after a dinner gathering. Von Ahrens has denied the allegations and maintains that the sexual encounter was consensual.
Some WSU students have been surprised by an email from the financial aid office that they will be receiving either $500 or $1,000 check from the CARES Act emergency funding. In an email interview with Washington State University Financial Aid Services Associate Director Robert Clark, he informed me that this was the second round of emergency funding, majority of which had already been dispersed to students. So far, there have already been 10,000 students that have been awarded, and more are expected to during the summer term. Students were notified about the CARE Act via an email on March 18th. There's still yet one more round of emergency funding that has not yet been received by the financial aid office. But once it has, this information will be shared with students once again.
I'm here outside of the financial aid building here at WSU, where the financial aid office received approximately $10.8 million in the CARE Act for COVID relief.
For WSU senior Sigmund Soroka, the financial aid email was a total surprise, but the funds could not have come at a better time. He'd been out of work for a couple months. He was worried about how he was going to pay his bills, and he needed a new computer.
I thought that, well, I need the PC because last semester, doing my projects, editing videos and things like that on it was just incredibly difficult, and I spent many nights stressed out, not sleeping, just constantly trying to figure out ways to get around technological setbacks. And then I caved and was like, look, if I get a PC, this is going to make it way easier for me.
Soroka was not alone. WSU sophomore Jocelyn Alcantaro was in a similar situation. Her bills were starting to pile up, and she was having to start to rely financially on her parents.
I used it to help pay rent, buy groceries, put gas in my car, just necessities.
The CARE Act has brought a sense of financial relief for students. They aren't having to worry about how they are going to pay their bills anymore.
I wouldn't be as relaxed as I am at the end of this semester because I know now, like, I don't have to worry about bills or rent or anything for the rest of my lease. so I can just focus on my schoolwork and my classes, like kind of how I've always wanted to live during college.
While there's still more money to be awarded, students who have yet not received an email about being awarded funds can fill out an application on the financial aid website where they'll find out if they're eligible. Murrow News 8, I'm Pamela Alarcon.
If you're procrastinating getting your real ID, you're getting more time. Find out the new deadline.
And a former mayor's apartment was raided today. Find out who in a moment.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
President Biden is set to deliver his first speech to a joint session of Congress tonight. This speech takes place just 2 days before his 100th day in office. The address, which is similar to the official State of the Union speech, will present Biden's policies, priorities, and accomplishments and outline his vision for the country. Security will be elevated following the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Extremists have expressed a desire to attack the complex during Biden's address. Federal investigators executed search warrants this morning at the Manhattan apartment and office of Rudy Giuliani and requested all electronic devices. Giuliani is the former mayor of New York City and personal lawyer of former President Donald Trump. According to reports, the searches were part of a criminal investigation into possible violations of foreign lobbying rules, as well as Giuliani's dealings in Ukraine, citing 3 people with knowledge of the matter.
The deadline for Americans to obtain a real ID card is pushed back once again as the pandemic. Our Murrow News 8 reporter Vaughn Fair is live at the Pullman Moscow Regional Airport to share the details on the pushback. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties. The deadline for Americans to obtain a real ID is pushed back once again due to the pandemic. The deadline for Americans to obtain a real ID is now May 2nd, 2023. The real ID card will be required for air travel 18-year-olds or older in order to fly within the United States. Travelers will have to have a real ID compliant driver's license or identification card or another TSA acceptable identification such as a passport or security checkpoints. According to the Department of Health, only 43% of all state-issued driver's license are ID cards that compliant as real IDs. When cheerleader Brandy posted a Snapchat of herself giving the middle digit with a profanity-laced caption, there was little thought that she'd be involved in a freedom of speech case. However, the Supreme Court announced today that they will review her case and consider the authority of public school officials to discipline students for what they say for schools, and the decision can shape the free of speech rights for millions of young students across the country when they speak off campus. It was a beautiful day today. Here's Christian to tell us more.
Thanks, Pamela. Yes, but instead of telling you how beautiful it was, I'd like to show you. Here, let me step off screen really quick. These are just some videos that I took of campus today. It was beautiful, sunny skies. There was a high of 67 today with a low of 46. These are some flowers on campus. It was very, very beautiful and clear, sunny. There was grad pics being taken today. Like I said, just beautiful. Now, going on to tomorrow's weather, that is really, really amazing. It's a high of 77 with a low of 49. It's going to be the most summer that we've probably felt this whole year. Now, going on to the state map, where we're going to be talking about the west side of the state. Here, the high of 67 in Olympia, sunny, clear, and a high of cloudy, which is still amazing for Seattle. Going into central Washington with a high of 71 in Yakima and a high of 79 in Tri-Cities. That is just amazing here for central Washington. Now, as we go on to the eastern side of the state, like I said, here in Pullman it was 67, beautiful, and in Spokane it was 69 and beautiful. I'm going to step off screen to give you guys the 5-cast today. Now, as we go in, Thursday, like I said, 77, it's going to be beautiful. Going into this weekend, it is going to be sunny, 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 71 tomorrow, 66 Saturday, 61 on Sunday, and on Monday it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 63. Now that's it for the weathercast today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Christian. Find out who the new player on the WSU women's basketball team.
And WSU baseball wins another award. Find out what in a moment on Murrow News 8. We'll be right back.
Good evening, I'm Zygmunt Soroka with your sports. The Cougars have signed Australian guard Taya Burrows. The 5'9" guard played for the Perth Lynx in the National Basketball League in Australia and was named the 2020 Perth Lynx Youth Player of the Year. Burrows is the second signee for Coach Etheridge, with the first one to sign being a 6'2" forward named Tara Wallach from Surrey, British Columbia, Canada.
Hey Sigmund, do you know why we can't go left front?
I don't, Luke. Why is that?
Because we'll be right back.
Thank you for watching. Have a good night.